Okay, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're logging on during school hours. This is our third ELA lesson. This is still going to be a continuation of our introduction week. So this is due Friday, March 20th. This is our third lesson, but it's our second time doing work similar to yesterday. So I want to make sure we're getting in the groove of how this is going to play out. So, like yesterday, our agenda is on the left, and we have a quote on the right. Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. Just like you, I have to be at home. I cannot see my friends. I cannot interact in person except for all the virtual spaces and platforms that we're using. So, I also have to get my work done, even though it's tempting to hang out and be watching some TV shows. I'm going to do what I have to do so I can do what I want to do. And that is making good, thoughtful lessons for you guys to keep working on all the skills we've been practicing this year. So for today's agenda, I have a do now. We're going to practice vocabulary. We're going to be practicing with Google Docs again. This is practicing with Docs round 2. I'm doing the same gisting. I'm doing the same underlining significant moments, but now we're highlighting evidence. That's the new thing we're going to add today. And then we're going to practice submitting again. So in your do now journal, which hopefully you have out and ready, you're going to read the passage and answer the following questions. I'll read it aloud and then give you some time. The passage says most species of birds have a high metabolic rate. In other words, their bodies rapidly turn food into energy. For this reason, birds need to eat frequently. During the winter, the food supply for certain birds becomes inadequate for their needs. Therefore, they travel from their northern breeding grounds to where they can get food for the winter. Question 1. Birds need food often. Which of the following is the best evidence to support this claim? A, during the winter, the food supply for certain birds become inadequate. B, most species of birds have a high metabolic rate. C, they travel from their northern breeding ground. D, they can get food for the winter. Number 2, inadequate most likely means A, enough, B, plenty, C, not enough, D, surrounding. A little clue for number 2, if we're trying to figure out the meaning of the word, go back and read it in the sentence. It says during the winter, the food supply for certain birds becomes inadequate for their needs. So in my mind, I'm thinking in the wintertime, the food supply must go low. So A and B, enough and plenty, those are very similar words. They kind of mean the same thing. If I have enough food, I have plenty of food. But not enough and surrounding are different definitions. So which could we replace the word inadequate with in that sentence? We're going to move on to the next slide. If you need more time for your do now, please pause and continue. Next, we're going to do our vocabulary practice. You have written down your 7 words from yesterday's lesson. At this time, you're going to take each word and write a sentence for each word. My example, I didn't put it there on purpose so that you guys would be paying attention. My word, resentful. There are some people that feel resentful towards their airline companies because they planned a wonderful trip and now they can no longer go. They are resentful because they feel mistreated. It's not wrong to feel angry or upset or resentful that you can't go anywhere right now. I had a trip planned and I had to cancel mine, but putting it into the perspective of making sure everyone around us is healthy helps. Okay, so you're going to take each word and you're going to write a sentence for it. Then I created on Quizlet some online vocab games, so you could click on the link and it shows us here are our words and definitions. You can click the card to flip it over. There's also some games you could play. So once you figure out that the word is falling, I'm going to type in the wrong definition. Not correct. And I believe you could skip. Yeah, press escape to skip. So I would have had to type in the word. You can flip it to make it the definition or the word, whatever's easier for you guys. Okay, so that's our vocab practice. Here we have today's reading. We're going to do just like we did the day before. The day before you did a reading called Walkout, and you had to manipulate the text. Today's reading is called The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. I made it in Google Docs again. It's the same exact thing, except now we're going to add a third step, which is highlighting. So how do I get to my work in Google Classroom? I'm going to use 702 as an example. This is my regular stream. I go up to classwork. Scroll down for the reading. As you read the attached Google document, you will be practicing manipulating an online text. You will be reading, gisting, and underlining significant moments. You must complete this before doing the assessments down below. So you click, and once again, type your name, type the date, read the following article, annotate the gist when prompted, underline a significant moment in each paragraph. In order to underline, highlight the phrase or sentence, then click the underlined U in the toolbar. So this is called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's about the oceans and the trash inside of the oceans. Once again, you're going to be reading this on your own at your pace to play with Google Docs. Again, you're going to delete here and write your gist. You're going to underline a significant moment in this section above. This is the new step. So it's going to ask you a question, and I want you to highlight where you found the answer in yellow. It says, Ms. Patrick showed you how to do this on the video presentation, which is what I'm doing now. Highlight the section you want to make yellow, find the highlighter button in the toolbar up here, and click yellow. You do not have to type anything, just highlight where the answer to this question is. We're practicing highlighting and underlining. So my question, what is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch made of? I would have to go up and read. Far out in the northern part of the Pacific Ocean, there are waters where few ever cross. It is called the North Pacific Gyre. It is filled with around 1.8 trillion pieces of garbage. This dirty part of the ocean is called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's made up of debris or garbage, such as old fishing gear, bottle caps, and plastic bottles. In the late 1980s, I'm going to stop there because I have already figured out the answer to my question. What is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch made of? It's made of debris or garbage such as old fishing gear, bottle caps, and plastic bottles. So according to my instructions, I highlight, I click the highlighter, and I click yellow. So I have completed part 1, part 2, part 3. Again, part 1, gist, part 2, I need to underline a significant moment, and part 3, highlighting. You're going to continue on with the article, reading, gisting, underlining significant moment, and highlighting in yellow where you find evidence. You're going to answer a question about the graphic, read again, gist, underline, highlight, read again, gist, underline, highlight. Then you're going to answer these questions based off of this graph. Once you have completed everything, make sure you turn in. So that's the reading. When am I done? I have read the article. I have gisted, underlined significant moments, and highlighted evidence in yellow. I have found and completed the comprehension quiz. I have found and completed the skills test. Make sure you are not just hitting turn in. If you don't attach the quizzes, then I have no idea that you've done them. So what does that mean? When you go to your classwork, again, you can't just click turn in. You have to take the whole thing, answer the questions, type the other detail to support the main idea, just like yesterday, and hit submit. Your response has been recorded. You need to attach it when you hit submit. Same thing for the other one. Comprehension questions, 8 points, 1 point per question. Hit submit. So after you're done playing this video, refresher, your do now, vocab practice, today's reading, the quizzes, and then you're done.